Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, I guess,
Yes,
and speak to you. How are you doing
I'm
today?
doing well, Veronica. Great to see you. Great to see you. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. Good, good. Because, lately sometimes people are unable for some reason. Instagram is funny sometimes, but I'm glad that, it's coming through clear for you. Yeah.
Yes. I have my headphones because there's like some noise around me, but I can hear you well.
Okay, okay. And just thank you for coming on today because, recently I was looking at your posts, looking at the things that you were putting out, just all the positive energy that you put out on your platform, the words of affirmation, the positive vibration that you just have this beautiful divine communication for the nation. You're putting it out on your platform just for anybody with the ears to hear or the eyes to see the message. And I just wanted to learn more about you,
Thank
you know?
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I just it's been something that I guess in that phase that I am right now to just share all of that what I'm feeling inside and what I've learned so far for myself to share it, with others. And that's what it's inspiring me to just put it out there. And like you said, for the ones that are open to it, the ones that are receptive to that information can just get it from what I post.
right, right. And you called it a phase that you're in. What would you call this phase? And why do you feel like this is just like, a phase that you're going through?
I say face because I guess it's just from where I'm coming from I'm seeing it from the phase that I'm transitioned into this one right now. That's why I say face because it it was it's something that has to spark all of this for me in my self discovery phase, my uh returning to myself time type of journey. So for the past few years, I've been really rediscovering a lot of that for myself, which not, I did not have such awareness of a lot of the things that I am sharing now. So it's just kind of like seeing me as I am little, like going from like a little seed to like growing to like a little plant and then see my progress for myself as well.
Right, right. Almost like even a caterpillar, to the cocoon and to the butterfly, you know, like a whole transformation, a whole metamorphosis, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's all happening
yeah,
live for me as I'm going through it as well and sharing with people. It's like from my own experience, from what I've gone through, and just sharing that, not from what I've heard or from what I've seen. It's just from, what I've gone
right,
through.
right. Thank you for your honesty. When you're talking about yourself, I remember I saw you put a post or you put a comment on one of Nabiha's posts when you were talking about yourself. You said feeling lost with no purpose or meaning, but you began to value yourself. And you spelled myself like Mycellph. Yeah, I had never seen anybody spell myself that way before. You know?
Yes, it's something that I've been uh, practicing lately because a lot of it has come through the water lens for me because I have been with the experience of electrolytes reduced water. So a lot of that has to do with, hydrating your body, yourself at a cellular level. So with that, myself are becoming alive. I feel like in that process of rediscovering that life and like you mentioned, like even when I felt lost and without no purpose, it, it's kind of like it sparked that um, electric shock for me to come back to awareness, to come back to that life where I was just sort of like looking outwards, where it's always been inside and within me. So then I feel like that's facilitated that for me, helped me see beyond what I was currently seeing.
Okay. Okay. So what was life like when you would say, back when you said that you had a different level of awareness, back when you might have had a different level of clarity, when you were less alkalized, when you were less electrolyzed, what do you feel was the cause for the lack of awareness back then?
I just feel like I didn't have that self trust, that self confidence, that self knowing within me, that strong sense of just purpose. Like when I thought of purpose, I thought it had to be something so big, or something that I just didn't trust myself, that I knew what I had to do or where I had to be. It was like that feeling where I just didn't know where to go, right? And it just realizing that I didn't need to go anywhere. And I was where I was supposed to be, and that a lot of that was just in my mind, trying to figure that, when I just had to felt it, like feel it in me, like listen to what I already knew and trust that I knew what that was.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it,
Wow. Wow.
it was something really, I would say it's been a gift to be able to see, to be able to feel and listen to myself now, when before it was more of an overriding. I was just going kind of like autopilot on life. Like I wasn't really um, following that inner knowing, my intuition. So it's got me through experiences where I've learned a lot from them, and it's gotten me to where I am today.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh, you've come so far.
In
Yes,
a way.
I can feel it. I can feel it in your energy, just in your voice, and just your resonance, what you're emanating, the emotions that you evoke. When you speak, it's like you're taking us down memory lane, even if we weren't in that exact experience. You kind of paint the picture, as you're speaking, because when you're talking about situations and scenarios where you may have had so many stories and narratives and things going on in the mind. Like you remind me of one of the quotations that I love. It's like I don't know if it was Mark Twain or somebody said something along the lines of, I have suffered so many catastrophes in my life, and most of them never even happened. You know, like I've suffered a great many catastrophes, but most of them never happened. Like they were all in my mind. They were just all up here, and it just never even came to the physical. It was all in the mental. So when did you find that trust? Like how young were you when you discovered that trust, when you rediscovered, when you reclaimed, when you reframed your situation?
It's actually probably just uh, in less than a year ago, where I actually started to go with that. Like it's all been very, I call it fresh. That's why it I call it that transitioning phase for myself, because it just happened. Not that I didn't trust before, but it wasn't to the level where I feel today, that I can't be moved as easily from what I mean, where I'm rooted right now. And before, it felt like anything that, it was like this little twig that would just, fly away with the wind, with anything that would happen. would come my way, and now I feel like it's just stronger roots that I have developed for myself
Mhm.
in that sense. So it's been this, yeah, just within the less than a year when I've started um, to feel that for myself more.
Wow. So this is really fresh.
Mm-hmm.
This, wow. Awakened by design, you know?
It's it's funny how, yeah, and even that name came to me a few years ago, and I just resonated with that name, and I named my page this way, and I didn't know where it would be leading me to today. But that's what it has felt like. If I had to describe my my journey so far, it would be by that. It's just I feel a lot of it is by design for me to just kind of like uncover like all of this for myself. But it's already meant to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
You said like you didn't even know that it was leading you in this direction when you started to make that connection. You said it was that sounds pretty prophetic. Like you prophesied, you had, this name awakened by design. You were channeling this name almost for your future self that you didn't even know was going to lead you there.
So now that you say it that way, so, yeah, it sounds like that. That it was just something that came to me. It's like that sounds like it just feels like right for me, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love it. It's like it sounds very intentional. Someone could say awakened by design, like they're thinking like human design, like awakened by, but also through intention, like you're awakened on purpose,
Yes.
you know, to be in service on purpose. So I love that. One of my mentors always says, whenever I get nervous, I just focus on purpose. Whenever I get nervous, I just focus on service. Like, how can I be of service to myself that
Hmm.
is also the greatest service to someone else? You know? So,
Exactly.
with establishing those pillars, like you said, that strong foundation, being firmly grounded, being firmly rooted, like the seed in the earth that is planted, it has to spend a period of time in darkness, you know? So before it kind of sprouts, before it pierces and, becomes that great tree that we see, it has
Yeah.
to really go deep down to go so far up. So what's one of the things that you feel, Veronica, for you that has really given you that strong foundation that without it you wouldn't be where you are today?
The one thing, I think that it's been experiences where I have felt like I lost it all, like I didn't have anything else. I guess my joy for life has been just taken. Everything lost color. Literally, it was dark, and being able to still have that desire to live, to keep going, despite um, despite being in that situation. Like I always knew there was more. There had to be more. Like this couldn't be it for me. So just holding on to that trust and faith that it would change for me, that it would someday would be different.
Wow, that is deep. So just to hear you correctly, you're saying this was a very low period where, are you saying like you almost didn't even want to continue, like you almost, like a dark place where you almost didn't even know if you could go on?
Yeah, like you didn't know, yeah, there was anything else for. It's not like I wanted to take my life, but there was just no reason for me. I didn't have a reason I didn't know what the reason of my existence was. It was just I had that feeling of what, like, if this is it, like I don't want it. Like, what if this is life? it can't be this way. Like I knew there had to be more to life than that.
Wow. Wow. You know, in those scenarios, sometimes people, and thank you for your, just for your transparency and like your vulnerability, you know, just thank you for that because, you know, I know that I can resonate and I know that other people can resonate when you're talking about this, that we go through these times and we have to grow through these times because was there any higher power? Was there any source? Was there any energy? Were there any spirit guides? Was there any, like, what did you cling to? Was it only yourself that you had to support you to carry you through that tough time?
No, well, for me, it's God and God beyond the religious connotations. Like it's just the higher source, the source of power that created me, that we all uh, are nourished by every day. So that is what I that got me through to the majority of it. Just trusting that there was something out there supporting me and actually looking out for me in the midst of all where I couldn't see, or and that is the and that I feel like that is also my my fuel that has gotten me also through today, knowing that there is something greater outside, you know, like, or inside, but you know what I mean, like a higher power that's already in me, in my cells, in running through my body, through, you know, in my spirit.
Yes. Oh man, you're giving me chills. This is so beautiful. You know, the way that you say it, Veronica, is beautiful because, you know, people talk about things that they can't explain. You know, like words almost can't describe the feeling. And just the knowing that you are supported, that you are divinely supported, you are divinely guided, that everything has been orchestrated, or that you are being carried this whole time, you know, that you're never
Mm.
alone. So what do you feel gave you evidence, you know, to see, like, what was something, maybe a scenario or a time in your life where you thought you were alone, but you got evidence to show you you were never alone?
I think I think every day shows me, because like even the times where I've been in my darkest, or the times where I'm like things are not going my way, or you know, I have all this expectations or whatnot, like it always shows me um that the beauty in life, the blessings that I do have, the um how even on my worst days I always had something valuable at that period in my time, and I was just not seeing it. But there's always been like little drops of evidence that is like, my goodness, like even what, like, cause I could be so blinded by what's not happening or what I don't have, that is like, wow. But look at everything that I do have, everything that is already in front of me. And if I just take the time to, you know, focus on that, it does change my experience 100%.
Yes, 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 100, 100%. You remind me, you know, I was a quote by one of a teacher that I know, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he said that when we change the way that we look at things, the things we look at change, you know? Just like that. Happy birthday, right? 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 Well, he said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So it's like, just when you flip that perspective, it gave you a whole new directive, you know?
Mhm.
It gives you a whole new objective with just that small change in perspective. So I love that, you know? I love that you can find that the small affects the all. Just having that different lens, that different view, that different vantage point, or that different angle, you know, to see the angel from that new angle.
Just your ankle. That's right.
Yeah.
It does make a difference to it. Just a simple, it doesn't even have to be like a big adjustment. Just a little angle will make a, you can see things from a different side. Yeah.
Right. When did affirmations come into play? Because I know that for a lot of people, even psychologically, the mental, the subconscious, that's governing so many things, people kind of reframe and reshape their lives through affirmations. And you're lovingly giving these affirmations on these cards, to people every day. I see your story. You're like just putting this out to people. So I can only imagine with all the love that you're putting out, you must have put a lot of love in for that cup, to be running over, right?
I
For
love
the
that.
cup to be running over and spilling over the way it is. Like, when did you really get into working with affirmations?
Um, Probably over the last 2 years, like I've really been doing that for myself consistently. Because I have struggled with the feeling of not feeling worthy or not being good enough. Um, and, building that trust within me and that confidence. And so it takes repetitive rewiring those brain, patterns for myself. So I just been doing a lot of subconscious reprogramming because I know it has to do with the way that just my everyday responses in life, and I purposely doing it towards self love direction because that's what I needed for myself, and so I know that a lot of people could use that as well. So that's why I started doing the affirmations recently for for trust and confidence and self-love, which is I feel like it's been my foundation to build on, so I can keep building on that. But that alone, it was something that I needed to be a stronger foundation for me.
Beautiful. That's like it's like the Trinity. Like the Trinity, it's like a cross. You got trust, confidence, and self-love, you know? Yeah. I love that combination, you know? So with that combination of that vibration, building that trust, that confidence, that self-love, was it more that did you start out speaking affirmations? Did you start out listening affirmations, or were you writing affirmations? What was the form that really helped you to develop these three things?
Um, at the beginning, it was to listen, just start to get that in my system running. Because like I do believe a lot of it does happen at a cellular level. So in order for me to embody such frequencies, it I ha it's not just about listening and speaking. I have to believe them. Like I have to really feel that frequency. And for the long time, like I could say I trust myself, and it didn't feel the same as if I say I trust myself. I believe it more and more every day. So it was listening, speaking them, writing them, and also leaving them, like embody them, little doing little things here and there that before I didn't do, trusting that or having more confidence. That is actually, I'm feeling chills, like embodying that frequency, letting that be in my cells, in my body. So it becomes part of that encoded information within me.
Okay. So it wasn't just one method. You're saying you did all three. You covered all the bases,
Uh,
you know?
yes, progress, not at the same time, but it's like a natural progression, like start here and then there, and then sort of like it's a process, I guess it's been for me, to like where I was just at first just listening, trying um to become more accustomed to that, or like be more receptive to it, and then it just took me to this other different ways.
Okay. So
Hmm.
it was a natural progression,
Hmm.
step by step, small incremental changes
Yeah. Yes.
slow and steady, like you started. So what advice would you give Veronica? You know, if someone's listening to you right now, someone's hearing this, they're going through tough times. They don't really see too many things to be grateful for, but they hear about the magic of affirmation, power of affirmation, and you know they're trying to write it out, they're trying to listen to it, they're hearing it out, they're speaking it out, but they still don't really believe it. You know, that belief, that knowing, that hasn't really come in. Would you just advise them to just keep doing it until they do believe it, or what would you say?
I it's just from my own experience, I would say to yes, to just keep going because it doesn't happen overnight. It's for me it has been a slow and steady process. Like taking little steps, that's how it's happened for me to where when I try to force it, when I try to make it faster, it just doesn't work. So it's sort of embracing the having patience and embracing your process, your pace. Because that's what I had to learn to embrace my pace, embrace my own process. Because it's not gonna look the same for someone else. And for a long time, I compared myself to others, and it's just my process is just mine. So learn to be okay with that for you.
Hmm. Great point. Great point. You know, they say comparison is like the thief of all joy. You know, it robs us compare ourselves to this person and that person, and we compare our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10, or someone else's chapter 20, or someone else's, you know, like we're comparing our journey all the time to other people. And of course, it even gets worse, you know, when we're constantly looking at social media and we're like, well, why am I not like that? Why can't I feel like that? Why can't I look like that? You know, why is not my life like this? So I love that you just brought it all home and just said, you know what, this is just my own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that alone took me a bit to, you know, to grasp for myself because it's easier said than done, but it does make a difference as well when you kind of like it's okay to look, you know, around and see what other people, but don't take that as, oh, this is what it has to be, or this is the only way that I can do something for me as well.
Right, right. So it's okay to draw inspiration, but like this is not, you know, the summation of what you can achieve, not exactly what someone else it's okay to say, okay, they did that, you know, perhaps I could do that too, but not to get caught up saying it has to be you. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes,
I like how you said you embraced your pace. I like how that rhymed. You're like, I embraced my pace. There was never a race, you
exactly.
know?
It's not a race. Because it can feel like that sometimes, where it's like you gotta keep up, or it's a race. And for me, it's like I don't want to race. Like I I like, you know, going at, you know, slow and steady. Like if in the future, like I can go faster or it goes fast, it's okay. But right now, it's like I don't want to race anyone, or like, and it's not anyone, it's just me. It's basically a race of me against myself.
Yes, yes, yes. Me against me, me myself. It's not a competition. I trust my intuition, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. You know, what do you feel, Veronica, that we underestimate or take for granted the way that we're shaped, the way that we're molded, the way that we're colored or formed at a cellular level. You know, people talk about spirituality and the cellular level, but when it comes to human beings at a cellular level, what do you feel like we don't realize or take for granted?
Hmm. Oh man, I think just the the mere uh I guess the miracle of our existence, like the fact that we are um alive today and our bodies are working just as they are supposed to do what they're supposed to do, designed to do, that we could see every day with as a new opportunity for for life. Appreciate like today as this day will never happen again. It's like this day will never be the same. It's just something that is like mind blowing to me.
It's a trip. It's a trip. Like I feel high just thinking about it. We are living in just such a trippy reality. You're like, this day right here has never happened before, and it will never happen again.
Mhm.
Ever.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. So just that right there, you're saying, just that right there, we take for granted.
Yes, because I feel it's creating a memory in your in your DNA in your own, you know, like your strand of life. Like it's a little memory that we're making every or implanting in it every day with whatever that we do, we decide to be. It's leaving that. Is that does that make sense?
Yeah. It just, the feeling that I get from you is like, even just the miracle of life itself, you know?
Hmm.
Like life itself, we just underestimate like how amazing this life is. Like somebody was trying to calculate. They said scientists were trying to calculate the odds of us being born, for our cells to be formed and for us to be born in this existence. They said it was like 400 trillion to 1. Like 400 trillion to 1, the odds of you being born, of your parents meeting each other, of your grandparents meeting each other, of your great grandparents meeting each other, those great great grandparents meeting each other, like all the circumstances that had to be just perfect for you to be here.
Yeah. It,
What? And you were never here before, but you'll never be here again, you know?
yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. It's just such and I can see it from where where before I didn't see it that way, so I can see why people would not see this. But when you see it as that beauty, like there is the reason you exist is just that it's so special. Like everyone exists, so it's so special. So not being able to see that to me is like um such a or being able to see that now is such a gift for me because before I did not see that. Like I said, like I did not see the beauty of, I did not see the joy or of this existence. Like what's the point
Right.
type of um feeling to where today, like you mentioned, like I feel high, I feel high on life. Like it's so, and I don't know how I did it, but it's like I just feel like so grateful for each day, for my body, for for this life, because I have seen the opposite.
Wow. Wow. That contrast, you know, having that contrast, like you said, when it was
Mhm.
colorless, when it was more black and white, when it was shaded, when it was faded, when it was gray. You're saying you've seen the opposite, so you know the vibrancy because you've seen the victimhood, so you know the victory.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
wow, wow. And does it give you more compassion, Veronica? Like when you have this awareness, you have this joy, you see the beauty. Does it give you compassion for others, who don't necessarily have that same awareness, who don't necessarily have that same gratitude or that same attitude when they look at their reality.
Oh yeah. It's like it makes me emotional every day because I can see people even in my own family, and I can it's almost I can see a part of me which was, when I was there. So I can see myself. It helps me see myself with compassion, and I can see those people with compassion, and then just learning to let people live their life as well, like live their own process without me trying to force them to see life as beautiful if it's not something is share, what I know with them, and if that's something that they are in resonance and someday, also like beautiful, but um letting people be in their own process is also, but that compassion helps me do that because otherwise I've had periods where it's just like I want people to, do exactly what I'm doing and sort of push my what I'm seeing onto others, and having compassion is also important. I've learned to put myself again in their shoes, where they're going, see, like if we could all like put ourselves in someone else's shoes, like in their minds and their bodies, through like what they're going, we would understand more, where they're coming from. So
Right.
I try to do that also without, excusing or trying to save anyone or anything like that, but just so I can get a better understanding of, what makes them them.
Right. The inner standing. Like how you said that, you know, compassion, that's empathy, to be able to see through someone else's eyes, to be able to live in someone else's shoes, even for a moment, to just imagine what it would be like to be that person, with their individual upbringing, with their individual trials, with their individual trauma, with their individual view and their lens on life. Like, to be able to have compassion, like you said, not try to save them, but to just understand and understand for yourself. That's power. That's powerful. Powerful. And I'm sure it's, for a lot of people, it's not always easy. They say, live and let live. I'm sure, Veronica, you've heard of that saying, live and let live, right? Like the only way that we can be free is for you to be you and for me to be me, right? That's what they say. But one of my friends said that love is like an acronym. They say love stands for letting others voluntarily evolve, you know? And that hit me because it was like your friends, your family, your loved ones, like if you really love them, can you let them voluntarily evolve without you trying to push them, without you trying to poke them and prod them and propel them, where you think that they should go? Can you allow it to flow and let nature take its course? That's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's kind of like um, depending on different, I guess, individual ways. But for me, it's kind of like kind of hold myself back, like, oh yeah, remind myself every day that let others live their life. Because my first instinct or impulse is to, oh, let me fix you or let me give you this, but it's like, okay, no, if they didn't ask for it, then don't do it.
Okay. Yeah. No, good rule, good guideline to live by and to embody for yourself because, you know, like I said before, when you spell the word self, like myself, you said cell PH, right? CELLPH. So when it comes to the pH, when it comes to being nourished, when it comes to your cells and what you know, the knowledge that you have today, what makes you so passionate about, like, us being more hydrated, like cellular hydration? When did that passion just really come alive for you to really want to spread this around for the world, like for people to know about their water?
Uh, for just from my own experience, like what it has done for me, and again, like it's not like the the water is like, oh, it saved my life. No, it's just a something that facilitated that for me to be able to see that within me. And I've been drinking the electrolytes reduced water for over 4 years now, and I've seen um, the benefits it has done for me and the people around me. So, from just personal experience, I just been passionate to share that with others that would be benefit from, just just changing their water would make a big difference in their life. Then, this is something that I've seen it for myself that it does make a different impact, and that it's not something that again is gonna fix your life, but it will definitely hydrate you. And hydrate you, it is also another foundation for your body to work properly. Because even for your brain, for your nervous system, for your heart, for all the electrical process that your body needs, the hydrogen in the water will transport that oxygen through, to your brain, so you can have better clarity just in your everyday life, and energy in your cells so they can, regenerate. And a lot of conditions that people are struggling with could just be solved by being hydrated.
Woo! You know, you just you're just reminding everyone, because it's like, we know that we're chemical beings. We know that we have a lot of water. We're water beings, but we forget that we're electrical beings. We forget that we have electricity. That's the neurons, and everything is firing and wiring and rewiring and firing, and like everything is going off in here. Just for me to move my hand, just for me to move my fingers, just for me to speak, like there's a lot of electricity. It's electric.
Yeah. Well, water a is a conductor of electricity, so your body communicates through electricity. So if there is an interruption within, some part of your body with the other, it's not going to communicate properly. So that's why water conduct this electrolytes reduced water will go take that water and that hydrogen and the oxygen to where it needs to go, where is that disruption, so your body can start performing optimally again. But yes, we are electrical beings. It's when I started this water, I guess, journey, and I started discovering all of this, it was like, wow, like it's all just starts to make sense for me. And I was like, most people don't even know about this.
No, no, so many people don't, and it actually it's heartbreaking for me personally, because I've witnessed so many times, and I still witness when I go back home to, my family members in different places, like in California or, in South Carolina. Like I have family members in different places, and I mean, they're still drinking out of the tap. They're still drinking out of the sink, straight out the sink, and all the kids in the house drink out of the sink water that is coming through the pipes. And I did it for years. I'm not saying I was above. I did it
Mm-hmm.
for years. I would take Veronica. Veronica, I would take. Do you know that? You ever seen those ramen noodles in the grocery store? Those packages of cups of noodles.
Uh-huh.
So I would take cups of noodles, right? I would pour the water from the sink in the cups of noodles, and I would radiate it in a microwave, and I would eat the soup from this radiated sink tap water. I would eat that every day. That was my daily snack every day. And I was like, when I look back at that, I'm mind blown. I'm like, my body survived that. If I could survive that, I can survive anything. Anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it comes to tap water, can you talk about this? Because I saw you put up a video with a dog, and there were multiple dogs actually, where you set Kangen water, you set this water over here in a bowl, and you set tap water over here in the bowl, and the dog went straight to this water. So can you talk about like what do we not realize about the water that maybe animals even can sense that we just can't sense?
Um, it's just the simple fact that it has life force. It has that life in it. Like the rest of the regular water is it's considered dead because for water to be alive, it's constantly flowing, right? Like even in nature, like spring water, it's constantly flowing, like the natural flow of the water. And when it's been stagnant for, in water bottles for months, years, it loses that structure. Like the actual, the reason why electrolytes reduced water, Kangen water, is brought back to life, it's because it goes through the process of electrolysis, which is basically what happens in nature where lightning hits the water and it makes it electric. It brings that life to the water. And um, it's if you want to think about it as frequency, it's a frequency, it's life. So the dogs and other beings can just sense that. Like if there is a live water and water that is dead, they're not going to go for the dead water. They want also the water that will give them that nourishment, that will provide the actual minerals that your body uh, needs for for your being to be nourished. And it's just yeah, it's just very it's just simple. The life that is in the water.
Yeah, yeah. Just the life force. I like how you just said it, the just the life that's in it, versus dead. Like this is dead, this is alive.
Like, I wish I had like a more scientific and broad explanation, but it's just this
That's
is just as simple as I can make it.
yeah, simplicity is best, just simple and plain, no guilt and no shame, right? Simple and plain. Like this is alive. Do you want to be dead? Or do you want to feel dead? Do you want to feel life? Do you want to feel like you're barely surviving, or do you want to feel like you're thriving? You know? So it's like we have the power to choose. What do we have to lose? So what do you suggest for people who want to start, on this journey when it comes to their water to be more conscious? Should they get a filter? Should they change the water that they drink? Like what do you feel like people should slowly gravitate towards in that direction?
I would definitely say get a filter. Filter is a must because there's like a lot of chemicals in tap water. So you want to minimize your intake of extra contaminants in your water. So the water that you're drinking will not actually it's not nourishing you, but you at least want clean water. So start with that. I would avoid also like plastic bottles, like all of those are like, they have like BPAs, and the average transport time for like for example spring water to get to your grocery store is over 6 to 9 months, just transportation. So by the time it gets to you, it's probably going to be year old water. So you're not getting a fresh spring water when you're buying it from the grocery store. It's I know.
I never I never even knew that. So you're like 6 to 9 months just to travel and get there.
Like it depends on where, yeah, which spring it comes from. If you're getting even from, Europe has springs like, what is it, the Evian and all of those that come from. It takes a long time for them to get to this side to transport. And yeah, so basically get a filter and start getting clean water. You will definitely see a difference when you start getting clean water in your body. And then the next step would be getting an ionizer, which making your water structured, bringing that back to life. And with ionized water, you do have the antioxidants and you have the hydrogen, the molecular hydrogen in the water, and it's alkalized, not alkaline. It's like there's a difference between alkaline and alkalized. Like the alkaline water in the store, it's made alkaline because they can add baking soda or different things to make it alkaline. So it's really not the same. It's a chemical process, not an electrical process to the water bottles that they sell at the store, and that's why a lot of people see it as that it doesn't work, because it actually does makes your body not work properly, because you're not supposed to drink baking soda like that.
Whoa, I never even knew this. So they're adding baking soda. So you're saying it's like that sounds like a scientist in a laboratory. You know,
Hmm.
scientists just like, adding little elements of little things just to make it alkaline.
Hmm. To make it alkaline. So, like the, what is it, the Essentia, I think it's the one that's the most popular right now, and it's like alkaline water. They market it, but it's, if you look at the ingredients, a lot of them have sodium bicarbonate added to it.
Okay. So wow. So the filter really is the best bet. You're like, you just, don't trust the external, you know, just trust the internal. Like go ahead and just take command, take your power, putting the power in the hands of the people instead of in the hands of like saying, instead of trying to trust in
Yeah.
some, you know,
Yeah,
just
like be your own source. Like see where your water comes from. Know where that comes from, and whatever. If you use a filter, or even spring water, if you have a spring near you, you're better probably off with drinking your own spring water. And always re-mineralize your water. Like add the minerals back to it. That's
okay.
also important, because like it's regular water is already not easy for your body to absorb it, because of the size. Like electrolytes reduced water is restructured, so the molecules are made like tiny, tiny, so they can be absorbed and travel to your body. So, but you also need minerals. So if your water doesn't have minerals, then it's just not even, they're not being absorbed by your body either.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And, and I know you said, Veronica, you said like this didn't necessarily save your life, but it definitely changed it on a physical level, a cellular level when it came to, I guess, your skin, you're glowing, you know, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
and you're thinking more clear, less brain fog, more energy, you're electric, so on all levels, you would say when you change the water that goes in, you change the water that goes out. Yeah.
Beautifully put, yes. Beautifully put. It's, yeah, people ask me, like I do get a lot of that I am glowing, and it's just life. It's the life that is radiating from within me. Whether, like it's my lifestyle. Like I do drink the water, but I also, implement other things in my lifestyle. But the water has definitely has like I mentioned, facilitated for, for that, like just being in my body, and the clarity and everything in my body to just feel alive, feel that life running through me, and it's just coming out because it's there.
Beautiful. So you also have in your bio, it says water guide. You feel like you've been guided to this for people that, because I'm thinking to myself, like I said before, my family members, my friends that still have no idea what we've been talking about in this conversation. It's so far away from a lot of people, especially here in America. I don't know about other countries, but I know here for sure when you say you're a water guide, do you feel like this is, your purpose? You found meaning in bringing this, to the world?
I think so. I feel so, because It's something that just came to my life, and in a way, I feel like I'm guiding myself through it, but also guiding others around me who are open to it. So it's just a, like I mentioned, it's something that I'm just following, I guess, by the sign. It feels like for me. And then whoever wants to walk with me in that, I'm also, that, I guess, that light that is just light the road, like the light walking down that road for you.
Yes. And also like like a lighthouse for ships that are on the water at sea that need direction, you know. You're like the lighthouse, the beacon of light that can show them the way, that can let them know, hey, shore is nearby. You can find your way. If you to know the road ahead, they say, ask those coming back. And you're walking, so you're like, hey, you can walk with me. No, I'm heading this way, but yeah, I'm walking. Regardless, I'm walking.
Exactly. And empowering people, to also, trust themselves and do the work, because like a lot of it could be fear, or they don't trust, or they don't know, and it's just like empowering people to take that leap of faith, to trust themselves, believe that they are worthy of this as well, because that helped me believe that I deserve this as well. Like if it's something that it's available, why not give it to myself?
Why not? That's one of the best questions we have. Why not? Why not? So, Veronica, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank
Uh,
you so much, Jero, and I appreciate you. You're great. I love following you, and I see Namiha is here. Thank you for your beautiful comments. I enjoy talking to you, Jerome, so
yeah,
much.
yeah. This was, I feel very expanded. You taught me a lot, like things that I didn't know before, that I wasn't aware of. And just, if this is their first time seeing you, they want to follow your journey, or maybe they want to tune in or get in touch with you, maybe your services, your offerings, where should they go to get in tune with
uh, to my Instagram page is Awaken by Design, and I have a link tree also with different links to my website and how to contact me and stuff. But thank you so much. I learn from you every day. I look at your stuff, and it's thank you so much for all you do as well.
us? Awesome. Well, blessings and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.